Alright, welcome back to Tikio Takes, and this is a very important video for me because, well, kids, they don't make music like this anymore. You know, my favorite genre of metal, there's not a lot of them left out there anymore. The newer bands are either some like screamo bands, which I'm not into, or they're dead and old. So seeing a very good metal band in Black Label Society still putting out music, Zakk Wylde still kicking it, is very good to see, and it warms my itty bitty heart. And I'm very excited to review this record because Black Label Society, they are some dogs. They make some incredible music. So before we break down each track by track, should you even listen to this album if you're a metal fan or a Black Label Society fan? You should absolutely listen to this album because there are legitimately some of their best songs on this album. I mean, it's fantastic stuff on this record. So this was a very good record. I'll give you my official album score at the end. But yeah, you should listen to this album. So let's now review this record song by song. And it starts with Name in Blood. So track 1 is Name in Blood. And this is one of the best songs on the album. And it's why they put it as the opener of the album. It's a tremendous song. It's super catchy. I give you my name in blood. You know, it's a very catchy song. It represents everything about them. They're able to make some incredible metal riffs, some chuggers in there, but they can also write a chorus. And immediately I noticed Zakk Wylde can still freaking sing, and it's super impressive. So this was a great opening song, one of the best on the album. The opening, it reminded me of two things. It was very cool. It sounded like Pneuma by Tool, that dun 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 dun. It was kind of like that, but in like a different key and sped up. And then the vocals in the opening, it sounded like 13 by Danzig, where it's like, you know, that the song from Hangover. It was like that with like kind of the Pneuma riff, so it sounded really cool. And then it gets to the main riff, wow wow wow, chugga chugga wow wow wow, and your classic metal riff. And Zakk Wylde sounded amazing to sing over a song, so I would definitely check out Name in Blood. It's one of the best on the album. And moving on to track 2, Gather of Souls. Not near as good as the song, but still not bad nonetheless. When this song opened, I was like, man, this is taking me back to 2010s watching Monday Night Raw, because it's that kind of riff. You know, the intro of Monday Night Raw, wow, 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 wow. You know, it's that kind of riff, so it was a very, very cool riff. And then the verse riff, it's as metal as it gets. It just chugs on that C sharp, you know, you know, classic metal. So, decent song. I mean, it's still an 8 out of 10. It's a great song. Just it's not as catchy as you know, Name in Blood and some others on this record. But I mean, if you're a metal fan, you're still gonna love this song because it's very chuggy compared to the opener. It's just not as catchy for me. So still a good song. But Gather of Souls is a decent second track on Engines of Demolition. And we move on to track 3, Hand of Tomorrow's Grave. Very Sabbathy, you know, song title, but it makes sense. Zakk Wylde was very heavily inspired by some of Ozzy's early work with Black Sabbath. I would be too if I was writing music. But this was a very good song. This was the first song I heard the bass. I heard the bass do a little descending riff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel representation because I'm a bass player myself. So it felt good to hear the bass in this song. I didn't hear it at all in the first 2 songs, so that was cool to hear. But the reason this song is so highly rated for me, the riff change, it's so good. I mean, definitely listen to the song because the riff change later into the song makes the song for me. I feel like I was about to go into a generational Avenged Sevenfold solo. I mean, that's the level it was. It was a riff that they could have sold over forever for minutes, but they kept it short and sweet, and I appreciate that. But I do wish this song was a little longer. So it probably would have been a 9 for me if it was a tad longer and it actually had an ending. Something you're gonna notice when you listen to this album: almost every single song ends the same. You know, it goes back to the main riff and then it just abruptly ends, and it's kind of a letdown. Because I know they're talented enough to make a better outro. So that's why it is an 8.8 instead of a 9. The outro let me down, and then I wish the solo section was a bit longer. But still a very good song. One of the best on the album. Hand of Tomorrow's Grave. Also, what a cool song title. Alright, and then the 4th song on this album is a complete switch up. Better Days and Wiser Times is a little cute acoustic track, okay? It even has some Knocking on Heaven's Door little, ooh, you know, it was a complete switch up, which I didn't mind because the first 3 songs were so heavy. Let's get a little soft for track 4. Every single fourth track on a metal album has to be the little anthem. You know, I don't know why, but it's the formula. So if you're a up-and-coming musician, put your anthem as a fourth slot on your album, and it's gonna do wonders for you, apparently. But yeah, decent acoustic track, and this is coming from someone that I don't really listen to a lot of like acoustic music and like, you know, softness. I love my metal, you know, my melodic metal, and I actually appreciated this one. It was perfectly placed on this album, and it's really the lyrical content it did for me. I left my portrayals for better days and wiser times is such a good line, and I want to say this song's about Zakk Wylde overcoming his alcohol addiction. So yeah, I mean, very heavy song, and I felt something. Okay, even though like acoustic songs aren't my favorite, it made me feel something unlike most of music today. So I can really appreciate that about track 4 on Engines of Demolition. This was a nice switch up, and what was also nice is that they didn't go back to another soft song. We head right into Broken and Blind, and this is a really good song. This is a fantastic song. It might be the catchiest on the album. This might be the catchiest song on the album. When you're broke, I mean, it's just I love this song. It had a nice little tribal opening, which was different instead of just starting out with the main riff like almost every song did on this album. So that was a nice change, a little tribal opening. The verse and chorus riff are amazing. Yeah, this song just does it for me. I would definitely listen to Broken and Blind. Especially if you love some good choruses, you'll be singing this one immediately. I remember the lyrics to the song immediately after listening. I mean, that's hard to do for songwriters, you know. So yeah, definitely check out Broken and Blind, track 5. And then for track 6, The Gallows, we're whipping out the guitar for this one, okay? And here's why. Because I don't know if it's just me, but this song kind of sounds like Into the Void, like a little too much for my liking. But here's Into the Void, you know. And then you have The Gallows, which is very similar. It's something I don't know how to play the song. It just came out and I'm a bass player, but it's like it's something like that. There's a little fill in there, and it goes down on this 5th fret, you know. And it's very similar to the but then again, Zakk Wylde heavily inspired by Black Sabbath, so I get it. I'd be the same way if I was making music, but yeah, I mean, this song's alright for me. I don't really mess with the lyrics on this one. It's talking about we'll burn together. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it just, I mean, it's a decent song. I give it an 8. It sounds a little bit too much like Into the Void, which I can appreciate, but yeah, I mean, it's an alright song. You know, if you love Into the Void, then you'll probably like this song. So The Gallows is alright. And then we have reached my favorite song on this album. It's Above and Below. I feel this is going to be the most underrated song on the album, but personally, it's my favorite. And I don't know how to play the song, but it's something like it's so catchy. That's not how you play it, but that's the general gist of it. But the chorus part is so beautiful, because that's the main riff, and then it goes into some just some clean tones and some vocal harmonies, and he's like, all that's above, all that's below. Like, it's so beautiful. I'm definitely not doing it justice with my voice, but I mean, it's a beautiful song. And then the lyric, blinding darkness that's never ending, like, I mean, you just think about that for a second. Oh, it's like a double entendre, you know. It's so, I love this song. I mean, this immediately went to my playlist, that's for sure. So I will definitely check out Above and Below. It's got some beautiful parts of the song. And then the solos, my favorite part of the song, the solos. It had me ascend when the guitars went to a new section, a higher section. The solo went with it, and I was floating, man. I was floating. It was a great time. So this is the best song on the album, in my opinion. Above and Below, definitely check it out. Alright, and then track 8 is Back to Me, and this is definitely not one of my favorites on the album. It's another one of those like slower, softer songs, but it definitely was not as good as a 4th track. This immediately, the vocals sounded like the People Say I Got a Drinking Problem, the opening lyrics of that, one more night, or whatever he says, but Zakk did the exact same delivery. I'm like, oh, whoa, is this a cover? But it's not, but Even the solos were way too harsh for this soft song. I didn't like that. I didn't like the palm muted chromatic solos. I didn't like the solos on the song. It was way too harsh for a song. And sounds like Drinking Problem a little bit, but it's all right. You know, definitely not one of my favorites on this album. In track 9, we got Lord Humongous. I thought this should have been the title track because the lyrics definitely sounded like it wanted to talk about Engines of Demolition, but they decided to call it Lord Humongous, which is such a goofy name. But hey, I guess it works. But I love the riff. It kind of reminds me of the end of Seek and Destroy by Metallica. It's not the same chords and it's not in the same tuning, but it's something like. So, yeah, metal AF, you know. So, I definitely enjoyed this song. I mean, Zakk Wylde on the lyrics. Everything was so tight in this song. The lyrics went with the music went with the lyric. Like it was a very tight song. The solo was very different in this song. It wasn't your. It was there was a lot of flavor to it. They definitely put more thought into the solo, which I definitely appreciate because when you listen to metal a lot, sometimes all the solos can just sound the same, especially, you know, so I appreciated that the solo was so much different than the other one. So overall, very good song. Lord Humongous, goofy name, but the song is definitely not goofy. Pretty sick. And then track 10, Pedal to the Floor. If you're a divorced dad, if you're on Facebook a little bit too much, if you watch the news a little bit too much, you also may drink a little bit too much, this is a song for you. Yes, you. This is a song for you. This is the ultimate hell yeah song, and the lyrics is basically a middle finger to death. It sounds cool. It's an alright song. But yeah, if you're a divorced dad, this is the song for you. And ladies and gentlemen, track 11, we have our first official filler song. A song that did not need to be on the album, so I'm not even going to give the light of day. I mean, it's lucky this song got a 7. I was considering a 6 or something just for the disrespect of a filler song. Always hated filler songs. I get that labels, you know, assign it sometimes, but still, I hate filler songs. This song did not need to be on the album. Easily could have been a nice little 12-song album. So, this song is alright. And then the second to last song on this album is The Stranger. Now, this song is definitely different from the others, which I appreciate, but it was a pretty, like, drastic switch up from the verse to the chorus. It needed a drum fill to just help my ears because it was very abrupt, the switch from the verse to the chorus, and kind of took me out of the song a few times. So if they just had a nice little quick drum fill, that would help things a lot. But this song's pretty cool. They definitely had a lot of fun making this song, and when you can tell that as a listener, it makes you have more fun while listening to it. So The Stranger's pretty good, and that only leaves us with one more song. Track number 13, Ozzy song. Obviously, Zakk Wylde was very close to Ozzy Osbourne throughout his life. He was a guitarist for Ozzy for a number of years, and they've stayed close ever since then. And you knew Zakk was going to make a song for Ozzy, and I think he did a pretty good job. It was not the song I was expecting. I was expecting some, like, dark acoustic, and then it turns into something, you know, hard, you know, to represent Ozzy. But no, this song was here the entire time. And he might have had the right call. Very simple acoustic song, and I think simpler the better. I think he did a decent job. And the lyrics is also what I wasn't expecting. I was expecting him to talk about how much like he missed Ozzy, and he did say that. But the lyrics are more about like how Ozzy's death like affected him, and I thought that was an interesting take, and that's what he should have done. I think we were all expecting him to be like, you know. Like, long live Ozzy, I miss you, Ozzy, and he did a little bit of that, but it was more about how Ozzy's death affected him, and it's your album, so it's your song, so it should be how it affects you, so I kind of dug that. It's a 10 out of 10. How am I gonna... This is a song, a good song about a dead friend of his. How am I gonna like crap on this song? I can't. I love Ozzy, we all love Ozzy, so it's very cool to see a nice song dedicated towards him. So good job, Zakk Wylde, on this song, and good job to the rest of the band on this album. This was a very good album, and let's see the official TKO score for Engines of Demolition by Black Label Society. it's a freaking 8.3. This was a good album, like my goodness. Like just to put in perspective, a longer metal album like Engines of Demolition, the Black Album by Metallica, I gave that an 8.7 out of 10. So this is pretty close to that, you know? Black Album is definitely not my favorite Metallica album, so like Engines of Demolition is a pretty good album. How are they doing this at 50, 60 years old? How are they doing this? This was a kick-ass album. Some actual like meaningful lyrics I was able to pick up on. And then the music was fantastic. Music was fantastic. A lot of songs were similar, but they had a few switch-ups in there. I remember I saw an interview of Zakk saying, you know, every Black Label Society album is the same. It's consistency, you know? No one will ever notice, like joking, but there were some different songs in this album, and I appreciated it. So, very good album from Black Label Society, and just keeping metal living on. Hopefully this song inspires people to pick up a guitar, pick up a drum kit, pick up a bass, some keys, you know. I hope this is what this does, because this was a really good album, and I just hope it inspires people to love the genre of metal, because it's not devil worshipping music. It's half the time it's quite the opposite. Black Sabbath is a great example. By their name, you'd be like, oh, they're a devil worshipping band. No, they were a Christian band. Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi were Christians. Geezer Butler wrote the lyrics of the Black Sabbath. You know, there were many songs about criticizing people who stay in the pack and are afraid to show their love of God because of what others think. There's so many songs criticizing people of that. So, I don't know. I love metal. It's my favorite genre, and Black Label Society did it justice, and it's so cool to see them moving on. So cool to see Zakk Wylde still doing it, because he's one of the best guys in the scene. Never heard anything bad about him, you know? Every interview, he makes me smile, so I love Zakk Wylde. So glad I got to see him play with Pantera last year on the Metallica tour. Very blessed I got to see them live, but yeah, phenomenal album, 8.3 out of 10, and it might be the best album of the year for me, because so far we have like Megadeth's album, which I think I gave that album like a 7.2, or maybe it was below that, but it wasn't the best of albums. So yeah, they did good with this one. So make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and God bless you all.